from Mike Miley Stadium in Metairie. It's District 9 5A baseball tonight, an outstanding game as we feature the Archbishop Rummel Raiders taking on the John Curtis Christian Patriots. And a pleasant good evening to you, Ken Trahan, joined by the coach, Danny Ream, on a gorgeous night in Metairie. And two good baseball teams hooking up for the second time in 3 days as John Curtis Christian entertains Archbishop Rummel. The two teams opened district play 2 days ago at Kirsch-Rooney Stadium, and it looked like the same old because the Patriots, who have won this Catholic League in all 3 seasons they've been in it, really looked the part once again as they dominated in an 8-1 victory over the Raiders in that particular contest. And considering how many players John Curtis has lost from their back-to-back state championship teams, it was a very impressive showing. They look like the team that we saw last year. Rummel, on the other hand, which had been very impressive up until that point, was anything but on that day. So, Danny, I fully expect that Rummel will bounce back and play the way they've played prior to Tuesday, and I expect Curtis to play well too, especially with Dax Ford on the mound.
Yeah, if you're Rummel, you're going from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak. You got beat the other day by John Curtis without Dax Ford on the mound. So, it's going to be really tough tonight, and obviously Curtis is feeling good coming off of that big win in the first game against Rummel. If you're Rummel, you're trying to bounce back. Obviously, that's what Coach Nick Monica and his staff has probably been preaching all week. Let's have some good practice and get back at these guys. That's the great thing about baseball and playing in a series here like they're doing in district with the back-to-back games against the same opponents, is it gives you a chance to even things out pretty quickly and bounce back if you can. But like I said, you lose the first one without Ford on the mound, and you got to face Ford tonight, so it's not going to be easy.
Well, it's amazing to see John Curtis in the position they're in playing the way they played the other day when you consider what they lost. I mean, Brandon Davis to Tennessee, lost Ian Landreneau to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, Jordan LaBruza, who was an outstanding player for them for quite some time. Of course, they lost Kate Beloso and Will Ripoll to LSU, Logan Stevens to Tulane, Jay Curtis to Dayton. You get the picture. That's a lot of talent that you graduated, right?
No, they graduated, all the impact-type guys that they've had over the last few years that have led them to multiple Catholic League championships. Those guys are gone. The new guys had to step in, and, their pre-district schedule probably didn't go exactly the way they would have liked it to, but, now it's district, and now you're playing the games that really count and people really keep an eye on, and, they won the first one in a pretty impressive fashion. So if you're Jeff Curtis, to have such a young team and so many holes as you were talking about that had to be filled from what they've had in the past, you got to be pretty happy with the way you've started district play, and you'd love nothing more than to sweep this series here tonight.
Well, the 8-1 victory on Tuesday at Kirsch-Rooney Stadium, 2 Curtis pitchers combined on a one-hitter. The freshman Logan O'Neill, who didn't give up a hit in 4 1/3 innings, and the sophomore Michael Curtis. You get the picture that bodes well for the future of John Curtis. And Rummel had come into that game as a team. They were batting .306, averaging 8.2 runs a game, and they were totally shut down. In fact, it was a no-hitter until the final out, 2 outs in the 7th, when Lance Johnson broke it up with a line drive single to left. So brilliantly pitched game, but Curtis also turned 2 double plays, and they got 11 hits against good pitching. They beat Matt Villa, who had been undefeated up until then. So it was just an all-around good effort by Curtis. Colin Guggenheim ignited them. What a great athlete he is. The junior was 3 for 4 with a double and an RBI, scored 3 times in that leadoff role. Dax Ford in the 2 holes was 2 for 2 and on base all 5 times. He's hitting over 400. So it all starts at the top of the order. And when your top of the order is productive, typically good things happen.
Like they say, tradition doesn't graduate. And John Curtis has a heck of a tradition as of late here in baseball, in the Catholic League since they've come into Division I. And, they've been the team to beat. And until you beat them, until somebody, takes them from that top spot in the league, they're the best team, and they're the team that everybody's gunning for, and they start out 1-0 here and trying to go 2-0 tonight. So somebody's got to beat these guys. Nobody's really done it lately in the league.
Well, when you're talking about the Rummel Raiders, you're talking about a team that's been really good. I mean, they're 13-5 on the year, so that was just I guess you'd call it a clunker, right? Just threw one in there at the wrong time. Didn't play well because they were playing very well going into that game. And this is a good baseball team. They hit up and down their lineup. They're batting .295 as a team even after that game the other day. And they've got good players all over. But it all starts with their three-way player, the junior Jackson Denny's, because he is a great story. This is a young man that tore every ligament in his leg 2 years ago. A devastating injury, the kind that people don't come back from. He's not only come back, he's been really good. He's their cleanup hitter, leads them in RBI. He's an outstanding catcher. And, of course, all he's done on the mound is go 5-0 with an 0.6 earned run average and a ton of strikeouts thus far this year. He's been dominant. They're going to need that kind of performance from him tonight if they're going to be able to accomplish what they'd like to accomplish here this evening. I mean, the numbers have just been very, very powerful for Denny's.
Hey, he's got a .6 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and 23 innings pitched. So he's got dominant type stuff. But as you mentioned, Denny's just a great player, and I know Nick Monaco was so happy to get him back this year. He's an impact type guy, a guy that you got to have in order to win a championship, and that's what Rummel's trying to do. As you mentioned, Rummel got off to one of the best starts they've ever had under Nick, 13-4, I believe you mentioned. And this is a good club. So that was a very impressive win for this young John Curtis team earlier this week. And I fully expect Rummel's going to fight like heck tonight and try to even this series out. But I tell you, Dax Ford's really good, so they're going to have their hands full. This isn't an easy second game against John Curtis, considering that they won that first one without Ford out there for him on the mound.
Well, and of course there's a history here too, because Rummel's been seeing Dax Ford for the last couple of years, so they know exactly what they're facing here this evening. Right now we'll pause as fans are being asked to rise and remove their caps. We have the prayer and then the national anthem. Let's listen in.
All blessings flow. We thank you for the opportunity to come and watch these young men compete. I pray you keep them safe on the field. Bless all of us as we'll travel home after the game. We just thank you for your kind love and goodness. Your many blessings to us, Father. Help us to seek to honor you in all that we think and say and do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Trahan along with Danny Ream. Matt and Chip Merritt aboard for the ride, taking care of business. Archbishop Rummel, John Curtis Christian doing battle this evening in Catholic League play. First of all, the starting lineup for the Rummel Raiders, 13-5, 0-1 in district play, under the direction of Coach Nick Monica. His final year as baseball coach. He's done a really fine job. He'll be the football coach at Rummel starting this fall. Leading off in left field, Lance Johnson. Batting second at third base, Kyle Walker. The third hole hitter is Ron Franklin, the second baseman. Cleanup hitter and catcher, Jackson Denny's. Batting fifth in right field, Chandler Fields. Hitting sixth at shortstop, Tyler Cook. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Logan Bertucci. Hitting eighth, the DH, Colby Fields. Batting ninth in center field is Stephen Powers. The catcher not batting is Colby Barwa. Top three of Johnson, Walker, and Franklin. Middle three, Denny's, Fields, and Cook. That's Chandler Fields. Bottom three, Bertucci, Colby Fields, and Powers. Barwa catching, and Denny's pitching. For the John Curtis Christian Patriots, 7-8, 1-0 in the league, under the direction of Jeff Curtis. Leading off and catching, Colin Guggenheim. Batting second and pitching, Dax Ford. Hitting third in right field, Logan O'Neill. Cleanup hitter, first baseman, Austin McCready. Batting fifth at third base, Michael Curtis. Hitting sixth at shortstop, Joel Taylor. Batting seventh, the DH, is Richard Woodruff. Hitting eighth, the second baseman, Reggie Bergeron. Batting ninth in left field, Colin Morgan. On the mound, we mentioned Dax Ford. So it'll be Guggenheim, Ford, and O'Neill. McCready, Curtis, and Taylor. Woodruff, Bergeron, and Morgan. Patriots on the field defensively. Johnson in left, Powers in center. Fields is in right. Walker third. Excuse me, I'm giving you Rummel. It's Morgan in left, Dufresne at center, O'Neill in right, Curtis at third, Taylor short. It's Bergeron second, McCready first, Guggenheim catching. Dax Ford on the mound for the Patriots, Danny.
He's impressive, Ken. Senior left-hander, 19 innings pitched so far on the year. He's got 36 strikeouts in those 19 innings pitched, so just unbelievable, powerful numbers there for this guy. He's been doing it for a while, really good player. Dominant type arm if he's on tonight, so Rummel's going to have their hands full.
Well, it's all about throwing strikes. He's walked 16 in 19 innings. If he throws strikes, he's very, very difficult to hit. Lance Johnson leads it off, 276, no homers, 10 RBI. First pitch is swung on and fouled, right side out of play. We're underway. So Johnson goes up hacking as we start right on time at 7 p.m. Johnson had the only hit for Rummel in the game Tuesday. He's a sophomore. Not big, but he's a good ball player. 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit hard off the first baseman's glove. And Johnson will reach on a hard hit ball. And he's on to start the ball game. So Johnson reaches on what probably is a base hit, given the hard hit nature. And short hop, Danny, you give him a hit on that?
That ball was hit pretty hard at the first base and probably could have had it, so it's questionable. But he hit the ball hard, put it in play, did a good job against the left-hander going the other way, and that's what Rummel needs. Anything that's going to give them some early momentum, try to get what happened on Tuesday out of their minds.
Kyle Walker at 277, no homers, 10 driven in. Pitch from Ford, shows bunt, bunts it foul, 0-1.
Well, that shows you the respect that Nick Monica has for Dax Ford right here, sack bunting in the first inning with nobody out. He knows runs are going to be tough to come by.
Walker, 2 sports star, really good running back in football, just a sophomore, talented young player who can run. Ford with a check of Johnson, who runs pretty well. Pitch on the way, squares to bunt, and he doesn't bunt it. 0-2. Well, you've got to execute. Curtis put on a clinic bunting on Tuesday. They executed 3 bunts perfectly. 2 for sacrifices, 1 for a base hit.
Well, it's a great part of the game that you really want to be able to go to in certain situations. At the high school level, you can cause a lot of chaos with the small game. Laying bunts down, sack bunting, drag bunting, squeezing, getting guys moving, hitting and running, stealing bases. All those little things force the defense to make plays, and a lot of times guys can't make them at this level. So, Nick Monica right here was trying to go straight to some pressure on Curtis. Leadoff man got on and trying to put the ball in play and make him field it, make some plays out there, hoping for a mistake.
0-2 the pitch. Fastball missed away. 1-2 on Kyle Walker with Franklin on deck. Sunny skies, perfectly clear, 69 degrees. How nice is that? Wind is out of the west at 9, blowing toward left. Snap throw to first. He's safe, close. Johnson just got back in with that quick back foot snap throw by Ford. Big weapon to stop a running game if you can hold runners on. Ford from the belt to the plate, down, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Walker.
Well, Walker's done a good job of fighting his way back. He's got the count even now. This is a big pitch here. If you're Curtis, you'd like to put him away, get yourself to 1 out with a man on first with that double play in order. It's a big pitch.
2-2. Hard hit to second. This is going to be a double play. 2 outs. Out at first. Nothing you can do if you're Lance Johnson. That ball was smoked right at the second baseman. And Walker did a good job, stayed inside the ball, hit it hard, but right at the second baseman, Bergeron, for the double play. But again, the inability to get the bunt down.
Didn't get the bunt down, had to go to hitting. Did a good job there. Walker did a working back to an even count at 2-2 and got a good pitch out over the plate and cracked it hard. Just right at the second baseman, able to double him up. So that was a big pitch there.
Senior Ron Franklin took a ball. Second was high. It's 2-0. Franklin, 315, a homer, 13 RBI. A 3-year starter for Rummel. He's played all over the place. I think we've seen him play basically everywhere. 2-0 is inside, almost hit him, a breaking ball. It's 3-0.
And that's a guy that you just love to have on a high school baseball team because there's different needs at different times. And when you got that guy that you can plug in all over and get quality starts out of at multiple positions, that's gold at the high school level.
3-0, ball 4 high and away. So another base runner for the Raiders with 2 outs, and that will get the dangerous Jackson Denny's to the plate. Franklin aboard with 2 outs for Rummel. Franklin, 5 stolen bases in as many attempts. Denny's, 314. He has a home run, a team-high 20 RBI on the year. And as mentioned, a good story to bounce back. I mean, that was a devastating knee injury suffered in football where he was a good tight end playing as a freshman at Rummel, starting, and was really good in a game in Lafayette at Turlings Catholic. Went to Dr. Andrews in Birmingham, got the repair, and he's worked. If you talk to his coaches, no one's ever worked harder to come back than this kid.
Well, he loves to play the game, and that's when it really shows. You know, when you've got that type of adversity and you got to fight to get back to doing something you love. So it's good to see him out there again.
Franklin checked on, extends his lead. It's pretty big, and there's the snap throw off the back foot, but Franklin is back. So that's 3 throws over there. More likely to run with 2 outs. You know, the conventional wisdom is don't take the bat out of your cleanup hitter's hands, but against Ford, you got to try to generate. Stretch pitch. Good breaking ball, strike call. First good hook he's thrown. He shut out Rummel 7-0 in the semifinals 2 years ago in Division I at Sulphur in a game that we broadcast on radio, and was just brilliant in that game. 0-1. Fastball fouled, late on it, out of play. 0-2. Dimensions here at Mike Miley, 312 down the line. It's 328 to the gaps, 372 to straightaway center. An honest park, but nowhere near the dimensions of Kirsch Rooney, where they played on Tuesday, where Rummel plays its home games.
Yeah, the home run, the long ball, if you will, definitely comes into play more here at Mike Miley. It's a different feel than a Kirsch Rooney or a John Ryan or one of those larger, UNO, one of those larger stadiums used in the league.
0-2. Breaking ball. What a pitch. Beautifully done. It's 0-2 now, pardon me. So great pitch to Denny's on a breaking ball and make it 0-2. Ready now from the belt. Here is the 0-2. Fastball high and away. Denny's laid off. Franklin down at second after the walk that took place. 1-2 the count. Here it comes. Struck him out swinging. The inning is over with no runs and a hit. 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the first. Rummel nothing. John Curtis coming to bat. And the Raiders will take to the field. Well, Rummel able to make good contact. A couple of hard hit balls, and with a double play kind of short-circuited that inning for them.
Yeah, they put the ball in play hard and showed some good at-bats. You can tell that obviously they knew Ford was going to be on the mound tonight, a good lefty, and they had a good left-hander approach there offensively, you know, looking to go hard the other way, and they did it a couple times and, you know, made things a little interesting. That double play was huge for John Curtis. And then Ford just really put it together right there against Denny's. He had the breaking balls working, and he blew the fastball up and away right by him. So good sequence of pitching there by Ford to close things out.
Raiders on the field defensively. Johnson left, Powers center, Chandler Fields right. It's Walker third, Cook at short, Franklin second, Bertucci first. It's Barwa catching, and on the mound is the big junior, Jackson Denny's.
Denny's 23 innings pitched on the year, as we mentioned early in the broadcast, a .60 ERA, 37 strikeouts, so he's got powerful stuff. And as you like to mention, Ken, only 11 bases on balls, so a good job of pounding the zone and pitching to contact and letting your defense make plays for you, keeping them on their toes.
Well, that's the number. The walks, the one you look at, and we know he's got the one pitch, the fastball. That'll be 84 to 87. It's all about whether he has that second pitch going for him, because he's going to need it against a tough Curtis lineup. Matt Curtis had a great approach on Tuesday against Matt Villa, who has good command. They came out swinging at the first pitch frequently, and they kind of ambushed him and got a lot of first pitch hits off of him. It was a really good approach. We'll see how they approach Denny's here this evening. I don't think they've seen Denny's before. As mentioned, he missed all of last year and pitched sparingly as a freshman, not much. They didn't need him that year to do that much. Although I did see him pitch as a freshman at John Ehret, and he opened my eyes that day with how hard he was throwing. And of course, when he pitches, then they have to change catchers, and Colby Barwa handles those duties. And Colin Guggenheim will get it started for John Curtis. Guggenheim is at .324, a homer, 8 RBI, 3 sports star, amazing athlete, the junior, great quarterback in football. Solid basketball player for the Patriots. Finished with that, and guess what? Now he's leading off and catching for the Patriots in baseball. Right-handed hitter, stands in. First pitch on the way. There's the breaking ball, and it's a dandy. So talked about the second pitch. There it is right there.
And as you mentioned, they were trying to jump on fastballs early. So Nick Monica's throwing backwards here tonight.
You can see the velocity right there as he's up. It's 1-1. Usually you get a pretty good indication with the naked eye about velocity. 1-1 the count. Next one from Denny's. Breaking ball, hammered foul. Left that one inner portion, and Guggenheim turned on it, but he was early. And it's 1-2.
He's out in front of that breaker and pulled it hard down the line. So 2 strikes here. Denny's well ahead. Kind of go to the pitches he wants to now at this spot in the count.
A ball and 2 strikes. Ready with another. Way high. Back to the screen, overthrew it. It's 2-2. Flag is kind of still in center now. Was blowing a bit toward left earlier. Lights are on here at Mike Miley. Turf infield, grass outfield. 2 balls and 2 strikes and another. 3-2.
He's leaving that fastball up in the zone now with a full count. You're going to have to locate it. You don't want to walk the leadoff guy.
Guggenheim stands in, pants down to the feet, ready. Payoff pitch from Denny's on the way. Fastball, threw it right by him. Well, when you got that good heater, even though they know it's coming, if you locate it, you'll get the out.
Yeah, and he had to make a pitch there, and he knew it. You don't want to walk that leadoff guy. That's doomsday at this level. You know, about 40% of major league leadoff hitters that reach come around the score. So God only knows what it is at the high school level, probably 70 or 80%.
Best hitter on the Curtis team at the plate. Dax Ford, the pitcher, 406 on the year. That'll do it. There's 4 RBI. Left-hand hitter, pitch on the way. Away for ball 1. Ford, a UL Lafayette commit. Very deep in the outfield. Chandler Field's very deep, and he's got him as a dead pull hitter. So does Powers in center. Right down the middle, it's 1-1.
Denny's starting to locate the fastball a little bit better, probably getting loose.
Ball and a strike on Dax Ford. Off speed, nice pitch, bounced to first. And Bertucci to the bag for out number 2. All right, change speeds on him. And when you have the good fastball, that's going to be effective.
Yeah, that's going to be really effective and really tough for Curtis to deal with offensively, because he's got that plus fastball that he can just kind of blow you away with when he's ready to locate it and go at you. So when he can dump that second pitch in there when he wants for a strike, really, really tough.
Logan O'Neill, a hero Tuesday, the freshman, did it on the mound on Tuesday. He's at the plate here at 279. No homers, 11 driven in, took it high. Playing right field in this game. What a delightful young man to talk to after the game. He's going to get bigger, too. He's got a frame where he's going to grow more. 1 ball and no strikes. Over but just low, 2-0. Good take by O'Neill. And 3-0. McCready would be next.
With 2 outs and nobody on, you want to end this first inning right here. You want to fight your way back if you're Denny's and find a way to end this with O'Neill right here. You don't want to put a guy on with nobody on and 2 outs.
Anytime you see the fastball up, which we've seen in the first, he's a little pumped.
A little pumped and just maybe not all the way.
It's hard to take something off there, and he misses inside. So a 4-pitch walk to O'Neill brings Austin McCready to the plate. Cleanup hitter at 231. No homers and 6 driven in. And O'Neill runs the bases, and now Franklin and Bertucci coming over to Denny's to have a talk about Curtis put something in play, which is possible with 2 outs here, to try to create an opportunity with a base runner in O'Neill. Ready to roll. O'Neill is 1 for 1 in stolen bases. Here's McCready. Straight up defensively. Denny's from the stretch for the first time. And he threw a good popper to get ahead 0-1. Well, you're always interested to see a guy work from the stretch for the first time. Might actually help him with the way he's overthrown the fastball.
Yeah, simplify things for him. Come set, kick, and let it rip.
Up again, 1-1. Always encouraging for a pitcher to hear that mitt pop. 1 ball and 1 strike. McCready took a good breaking ball for strike 2. Well, he's got the number 2 pitch today. That's been a very good-looking pitch.
Yeah, he's got
the first inning.
He's got a feel for it. If he can get through this and get into the game and start locating that fastball a little bit better, it's going to be a heck of a pitching matchup here tonight.
1-2. Good pitch. Got him looking. No runs, no hits, a runner stranded. We've played one with no score from Mike Miley Stadium here at CrescentCitySports.com. Second inning begins. No score here from Mike Miley Stadium. Ken Trahan along with Danny Ream. Dax Ford back to the mound. Chandler Fields will lead off the second to be followed by Tyler Cook and Logan Bertucci. 15 pitches for Ford in the first, 8 of which were strikes. Walked 1, struck out 1, got a double play ball. Fields swung at a breaking ball in on the hands. He made up his mind. He was going after the first pitch, and that's not the pitch he wanted at all, and he's behind 0-1. Well, you guess fastball and you don't get it. Doesn't work that well.
Yeah, it's not going to work too well at all.
This is high, 1-1. Chandler's a really good athlete. Outstanding quarterback heading to UL Lafayette on a football scholarship, but when you're talking about baseball, he's a good baseball player. 314, a homer, 14 driven in. Chandler went around on a fastball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now with Cook ready to hit next. One, two. And he hangs in up on the roof, holding at a ball and 2 strikes. Crescent City Sports Prep Baseball is brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. Thanks to Larry Gibbs and Gibbs Construction for their support of CrescentCitySports.com. 2-2 now, and a swing and a miss. He got him off speed. Fields gone on strikes, second strikeout of the game for Dax Ford, and 1 gone.
Ford with a good sequence there to retire Fields. He came in hard with the fastball on his hands. Fields was able to foul it off, but kind of sped his bat up and then went to the slow stuff and got him on the breaking ball.
Here's Tyler Cook, the sophomore. Took it high. Cook, good player. Just kind of a repeat of his brother. 320 average, no homers, 14 driven in. High and away, 2-0. Just knows how to play the game. He does things the right way. 2-0 the count. Here it is. It's we got a borderline call there. Pitch looked up and away, but got the call, and it's 2-1. And Ford takes no time and delivers a strike over the inside. It's 2-2. If you're Rummel, you think about stepping out when you see him work this quickly?
Yeah, you don't want to let a guy get in a rhythm like that. Call time and
chops it foul.
Get out of that box, get that time from the umpire, then get out of that box and slow this guy down. He's getting it, he wants to throw it, he wants to get in that rhythm where he's dictating the pace of the game. And absolutely, you want to stop that if you can.
Zach Cook, of course, at Loyola. Striking resemblance, right? Tyler and Zach. 2-2 on the way. Struck him out. Delicious breaking ball for out number 2. Catcher caught the ball. So no need to throw to first, and that's 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Ford, who's got all of his pitches working now. And here's Logan Bertucci at 318 with no homers, 12 RBI. Again, Rummel hits up and down their lineup. They've got good numbers, but so far, not against Curtis. Pitch on the way. Fastball, missed the inside edge to Bertucci. The other thing about Rummel, you got a lot of young players on this team. Here's Bertucci, a sophomore that's having a good year. Took it high, 2-0. He's 5'10", 205, very solid. Good around the bag at first. 2 balls and no strikes, another from Ford. And that's just outside high, 3-0. I don't know that I've ever seen a pitcher work this quickly.
No, he's moving.
And Bertucci stepped out here.
Moving.
I mean, he just, look, as soon as you get back in, he's ready. Look, here it is, 3-0. And that's a strike, 3-1. I just think you have to start stepping out with regularity. And by the way, when you step out, don't get right back in. Just saying.
Tie your shoe.
And he takes a walk. So with 2 outs, second walk issued by Ford. Bertucci trots to first, and that will get Colby Fields to the plate.
That's something that will, man, just have you scratching your head as a coach in the dugout, walking those guys with 2 outs and nobody on.
There's another sophomore for the Raiders. 220, a homer, 9 driven in for Colby Fields. Takes it down. Nice stop by Guggenheim. 1-0. And Colby Fields is a 3-sport star as well. Outstanding linebacker in football. But how about this? Wrestled in the state tournament when baseball was going on. And here he is.
He passes the eye test.
Down in it. That got away from Guggenheim. And the runner to second on a wild pitch.
And that's how quick things can change. 2 outs, nobody on. You walk a guy. Now a ball gets away from the catcher. Now Rummel went from no life in this inning to a man in scoring position with a 2-0 count on the hitter where you got to come to him. You got to give him something to hit more than likely.
2 balls and no strikes. Another on the way. Fields had a good cut at a fastball. He's a strong young man. Fouled it back, 2-1.
He's right on it with first base open. You can bet Ford's going to go to some off-speed stuff now with that kind of hack on that fastball.
Well, not to mention there's a left-handed hitter on deck. 2-1 the count. Stephen Powers, a good hitter, but a lefty on deck. Ford from the belt to the plate. Swing and a miss. Foul chip into the mid, 2-2. Challenged him, got it by him. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Ford ready. And the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Inning is over. Struck out the side with a walk mixed in. No runs. A runner stranded. Bottom of the second coming. No score from Mike Miley at CrescentCitySports.com. Watch the strikeout once again. Bottom of the second arrives with no score. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you. Other Catholic League action tonight. Holy Cross leading at Winterscheid Stadium over Archbishop Shaw, 3-0. Top of the second, trying to sweep that series. Michael Curtis will get it going here in the bottom of the second. It'll be followed by Joel Taylor and Richard Woodruff against Jackson Denny's, who threw 17 pitches in the first. Walked 1, fanned 2. Here's Michael Curtis, 186, no homers, 6 driven in. Lefty swinger, youngster. Took it high and away for ball 1. Again, Denny's was up with that fastball in the first inning. Michael Curtis, a sophomore. Yes, he is. Another one of the Curtis clan. He is Johnny Curtis's youngest son. 1-0 pitch. Fastball high again. So when I've said fastball, it's when he's missed, it's been high. 2-0.
Yeah,
not getting through, not getting over the top.
Yeah, he needs to settle himself down, get back to his fundamentals. There, pretty good adjustment, but didn't get the call. That one might have been a little bit too far down.
3-0 now. So Curtis will take a pitch here. He does, way high. So again, Denny's struggling to get the ball down. And as we mentioned at the start, his command has been pretty good this year. The walks haven't been a real problem for him. Keswick leading Brother Martin 1-0, bottom of the first in that game at Kirsch Rooney tonight. Looking for a sweep of that series. That's a nice visit to the mound by Barwa, trying to settle Denny's down. Again, he's pumped, you can tell. Walker and Bertucci come over as well.
Only his 12th walk in 25 innings now on the year. So Denny's, just needs to settle in. Got good stuff, as you mentioned. Shows that he's got multiple pitches working here early on. So just needs to settle in. Maybe he can get a double play ball here and let these guys turn it in the infield.
Joel Taylor bats, lefty swinger, 295. No homers and 7 driven in. Pitch to Taylor. That's a good fastball strike call, 0-1.
Got the outside corner there for the strike call.
I'm not too sure he doesn't look better out of the stretch with that fastball thus far.
It simplifies things. I've had guys over the year that we just throw them out of the stretch all the time because it just keeps it simple.
You lose a tick or two on the fastball?
A little bit, but if you can throw a lot more strikes, it's a pretty good trade-off.
Nice bunt. Boy, they bunted so well the other day. Do again. Well done. Runner to second with 1 out. That's well done by Taylor. They put on a clinic on Tuesday. Such an important part of the game, and already we've seen Rummel fail to get one down. Curtis gets one down right away.
That's the stuff that in a tight game, a 1-2 run type game, you come back to. Who executed in the key spots.
Perfectly deadened, as we saw on the replay. With 1 out, here's Richard Woodruff, the DH. 190 with 2 driven in. Chance to put John Curtis on top here in the second. In a game where runs figure to be at a premium. Good fastball, strike call. And he just looks better out of the stretch with that pitch.
That's more comfortable for him, you can tell. He's just coming set and kicking up and did a good job on that fastball, getting over the top of it.
Barwa calling time. They have a word with Denny's.
Want to make sure you got your signal straight on what you're going with a runner on second.
It's funny, Major League level, they all cover their mouths and everything. Don't see any of that here. I guess the effect hasn't made its way downward, right?
This is not as many cameras.
Not as many cameras, reading lips, eyes in the skies. Interesting how MLB is going to punish people now if they find that stuff happening. I find that to be somewhat funny. Pretty good pitch, just missed the outer edge though, 1-1. But you can see him getting over the top, finishing very well out of the stretch. 1-1 the count. Curtis, the runner at second. Woodruff waits. Time called again. Curtis in their royal blue tops, white pants. Raiders in their road grays tonight, red caps. Ball and a strike. Woodruff took a hook. Ooh, my. Pretty good looking pitch. Didn't get the call. Good pitch from Denny's. 2-1.
Looked like it might have moved a little too much, Ken. Looked like it might have broke out of the zone there.
Or where it landed as compared to where it crossed the plate. Sharp movement. Good pitch. 2-1. Guess you'd call that a really good take. Another to Woodruff. To right. Right fielder has a beat on it. Did he catch it? He did not. Runner's going to come around third and score. Woodruff to second. And then John Curtis takes a 1-0 lead on a double by Richard Woodruff. That ball was slicing. Thought Chandler Fields had a beat on it, but he did not. And Woodruff gets an RBI double to give John Curtis a 1-0 lead.
Well, it looked like that ball was going to hang up long enough for Fields to be able to get there, but he's going to leave his feet, and it gets by him, and all the way out there by the right field wall. A big run there for John Curtis, and they take an early lead. And with Dax Ford on the mound, 1 run is probably like 2 or 3.
Well, it's double jeopardy there. He not only doesn't catch it, but then he lets the ball get by, which, of course, allowed the run to score.
Right, and they trade places, so now you're back in the same scenario, but you're down 1-0.
Right, the runner at second was holding. He would not have scored if he stopped the ball there, but he could not. Here's Reggie Bergeron, second baseman, 0 for 12 on the season. And there's a delayed call, strike call. I'd like to get the call a little quicker than that. 0-1 the count. 1-0 Patriots on top, trying to sweep this 2-game series. Down, it's 1-1. The dreaded leadoff walk, right?
Yep, it always comes back to hurt. unless you get lucky. Most of the time, they come back to hurt you.
Breaking ball missed. Barwa stops it. 2-1.
Denny's looking a little frustrated here, Ken. I think he needs to settle down. Might not be a bad spot to take a trip and just kind of settle him down. You don't want this to turn into a 3 or 4 run spot for John Curtis. You know, everybody's got to score at least one, so that's all they've got right now. But if they get to 3 or 4 in one frame with Ford on the mound, it's going to be rough.
Fastball fouled. It's 2-2 on Bergeron with Colin Morgan on deck. Nightfall has arrived here in Metairie.
That's what I was going to mention. I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but right field looks a little dark to me.
Sure does. I mean, well, let's just be honest. The lights here aren't real good. Just being fair-minded. Not an excuse, just saying. It's not very bright.
Oh, you just wonder what Fields was seeing, you know?
Right. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If you pick up a ball a split second too late, that could be the difference.
And high, 3-2. Straight away, outfield. Woodruff leads from second. Payoff pitch. Threw it by him. Second out of the inning. Strikeout number 3 for Denny's.
That's a big out. You know, even against a big-time arm like Ford, look, you got to score. So the 1 run's not, you know, not shaking you up. It's not causing you to be uneasy if you're Nick Monica because, hey, we got to score. We got to find ways to get our guys across home plate. So it's not a big deal, but you want to keep it at 1. You don't want to allow them to get this second guy in here. Colin
Morgan at 130, no homers and 2 driven in. Chance to add to a 1-run lead. Fastball is a good one. It's 0-1. Morgan, a sophomore. A lot of young players for both of these teams. Swing and a miss at a breaker. Sharp movement, blocked by Barwa. It's 0-2.
It's 0-2, and this is the 9-hole hitter, Ken. So you really got to put max effort right here to make this the last hitter for John Curtis in this inning. You want to end this thing right here. You do not want to allow him to reach and bring the top of the order up.
Oh-2. Down, it's 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him, froze him, inning over. 4th strikeout for Denny's, but Curtis jumps on top with a run on a hit. No errors. 1 stranded, they left 2, and after 2, Patriots 1 and the Raiders nothing at CrescentCitySports.com. One to nothing Curtis over Rummel as we head to the 3rd inning. Crescent City Sports Prep Baseball is presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. College Inn, a true New Orleans to farm table restaurant, open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl, thanks to the Blanchard family for their support of Prep Sports. 3rd inning begins. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. 2 left for Curtis. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left for Rummel. Stephen Powers will start it. Then the top of the order, Lance Johnson and Kyle Walker against Dax Ford, who's been given the lead. First pitch to Powers. Down and out, 1-0. Powers having a good year. He's at .310. Oh, you sure like that out of your 9-hole. No homers and 13 driven in. Plays a good center field. One of the veteran players on the Rummel team. They don't have a whole lot. Fast strike, it's 1-1. Stephen Powers, a senior.
On base percentage, 455, so gives you that double leadoff.
Fastball, strike call, beautiful pitch. 1-2. Ford is a tough customer. And Powers steps out. Rummel's starting to get the memo, and that got Ford off the mound for a moment, too.
Yeah. This is a good Raider coaching staff. They'll make those adjustments.
Up the middle, second baseman had him shaded that way. Throw to first in time by Bergeron on 1 out. Powers good contact, but Curtis had Powers play perfectly.
Yeah, the ball was hit hard up the middle. Second baseman was right there ready to pull it in and make the toss over to first for the first out, but that was a good job with 2 strikes. Powers right there staying tough, putting the ball in play hard.
Lance Johnson singled sharply off the glove of McCready back in the first. So Lance Johnson in 2 games against Curtis has the only 2 hits for Rummel so far to this point. Took a fast strike. It's 0-1. And Ford working quickly and sharply. Here it is. Bounced it. As soon as I say that, of course, he's going to bounce one. 1-1. It's on me.
You got to like the way he'll come in on the inner third against these right-handed hitters. You know, a lot of high school pitchers, they like to stay away and they'll go further away, and then coaches are a little concerned about calling those inside fastballs. But the good ones will come in on your hands. They will try to command that inner third, and that's something that Ford definitely likes to do.
1-1. Chopped up the middle. That could get through. He should beat it with his speed, and he will. Ball gets by. Johnson will have to hold as it hit the dugout. Stays in play. So Johnson's 2 for 2.
He's got all 3 hits.
Sure does. Well, he's a good player.
Well, and that was exactly what we had just talked about. It was a fastball right on the inner third, right on his hands. He did a good job of staying inside of it. Got it hard past the mound, a little bit too far up the middle, and Rummel's got a runner on now. See if they can make something happen here of their own.
Kyle Walker bats lined into that double play in the first. Made good contact after he was unable to get the bunt down. Lance Johnson, of course, 6 for 6 in stolen bases, so he'll get a lot of attention again. Rummel with speed at the top of that order with Johnson, Walker, and Franklin.
They got speed on the bases, and it's still fairly early in this game, so you can take a shot here and there.
But I don't think you're going to. That's a beautiful breaking ball strike. I don't think you're going to run on Ford. First of all, he holds runners very well, and secondly, he's quick to the plate. I do not think they'll run on him. 0-1 the count.
What you're looking for and hoping for is that ball in the dirt, trying to read down angle every pitch, see if you can get a free 90 feet.
Hard hit. It's just fouled by Walker. 0-2.
That would have been pretty nice if that could have stayed in there. That would have probably been a run.
With the speed of Johnson, in all likelihood.
Down into that right field corner. If it would have stayed fair, ball was hit hard.
Just a loud foul. And it's 0-2 on Walker. With 1-on-1 out here in the third and a 1-run lead for the Patriots. (0-2) And now 1-2.
And sometimes against an arm like this, Ken, it's not so much, are you scoring early on in the game, but are you making them work? Are you making him throw pitches? Are you making him earn his outs to where later in the game maybe he loses a little something, or you get into their bullpen and that's when you get your runs?
Leisurely toss, not the weekday move, but the Sunday move, right?
Just keeping an eye on him.
Another one of those really good quarterbacks who catches, Colin Guggenheim. Remember Matt Keller from Shaw, Chase Fourcade from Rummel?
It seems like they go together, the leader on the football field, the quarterback, and the leader of your defense behind the plate.
Walker hard hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Johnson with speed will round second. And he slips and falls, and he's caught in a rundown. He'll be out at third. Walker to second. And what bad fortune for Rummel.
Tough break there for Rummel. That's another really good job. Rummel's doing a great job in their approach. You can tell that they talked about this, they practiced this against the left-hander, trying to stay back through the middle, going the other way, staying inside the baseball, because their hitters are doing a really good job. And that was definitely going to be first and third with just 1 out, and he just went down, coming around second, and just a turf monster got him.
And a good hitter coming up, too, in Franklin. I mean, Rummel is really had a good approach. And you can see the ability of Kyle Walker.
That's a tough break right there. That would have been first and third, 1 out.
Here's Franklin, walked his first time, and he takes it for a strike at the knees. Walker's hit the ball really hard twice.
Well, they're doing it. They've got a good approach. You know, Coach Monica, Coach Hodges, Coach Lacoste, obviously over the week in between games, they knew they had a lefty coming at them, and they were ready for it.
Franklin takes yet another strike, and he's taken 2, and he's in the hole 0-2. That's not what you want with that runner in scoring position. Ford has him in the hole 0-2, and here it is. And strike 3 call. Boy, that's brutal. Inning over, no runs and 2 hits and 2 stranded. Rummel's left 4. Bottom of the third is coming, and it remains 1-0 John Curtis here at CrescentCitySports.com. Bottom of the third inning, John Curtis up 1-0, and they've got the top of the order up against Denny's in the bottom of the third. Guggenheim, Ford, and O'Neill. Denny's 37 pitches in 2 innings. He's only given up a hit, but it was a run producer. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. And here's Guggenheim, who struck out swinging in the first. First pitch, breaking balls. When he got the call over the inside edge. 0-1, a liberal call there. Seen 1 on each side now.
Well, you'll take it. Always good to throw strike 1.
When the catcher turns a little bit, you kind of know. Down the ball, catchers have a pretty good idea about strike zone. 1-1. You see a lot of pitches. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another 2, Guggenheim. Just down, 2-1.
That one didn't look too bad.
No. No, and look at Denny's. He walks behind the mound. That's typically a pitcher telling you that he thought you missed the call. 2 balls and a strike. Boy, I mean, we have to wait for these delayed calls, and it's just, well, whatever. 2-2 the count. I mean, just make the call.
Gives you time to flip the coin.
You think? 2-2 the count. And time called just before Denny's was about to deliver. Trying to unnerve a pitcher there. 2-2 the count. Jesuit leading Brother Martin 1-0. Bottom of the second at Kirsch-Rooney tonight. 2-2. Down and out. So full 3-2. Second straight time Guggenheim has worked a 3-2 count. Exactly what you want from your leadoff man.
Denny's needs to answer right here.
Good hack by Guggenheim to stay alive. Holding at 3-2. Holy Cross 3, Shaw 0. Top of the second inning of that one. Still no change in that score from earlier. Another payoff. Threw it by him again. Second straight time he's gone 3-2 and blew the fastball by Guggenheim out number 1. But Denny's has that kind of fastball.
Yeah, he's got that kind of fastball, and you needed it right there. He needed to come and make that pitch and get that first out. You don't want that leadoff guy on. That's what happened to him last time, and that's why Curtis is up 1-0.
Dax Ford grounded to first in the first. Bats here. Playing the pull. They're deep, infield and outfield. Pitch on the way. That's a strike. Had to wait for the call, but you know it is 0-1. Another good pitch from Denny's, and he's ahead 0-2. Wind picks up a bit, blowing toward left as it was to start the evening. 0-2 pitch. Fastball ripped to left by Ford, a base hit. That was on an 0-2 pitch. Boy, he's a good player. On at first with one out with the second hit of the game for the Patriots. Just went with the pitch with 2 strikes, perfect approach.
Yeah, I think Denny's probably caught a little too much of the plate there with that one. Probably wishes he had that pitch back, being so far ahead in the count. But tip your cap to Dax Ford. He got that pitch out over the plate, slapped it hard in the left.
Ford has 1 stolen base in as many attempts. Logan O'Neill will bat. Ford will get a runner, I'm sure. Caleb Spam will run at first base for the Patriots. It's 3 for 5 in stolen bases on the year. Good lead by Caleb. Pitch is high. One ball and no strikes on O'Neill. Throw to first to chase Span back. Snap throw over there again. And now O'Neill will stand back in. The 1-0. Threw it by him, 1-1.
Denny's reared back and let it go on that one. He had a little juice on it.
6'3", 225. He looks all of that. Ball and a strike. Time call by O'Neill. And yet, realistically, as a prospect, it's as a catcher. I mean, that's clearly what people are looking at. 1-1. That ball's ripped to left field. Left fielder is not going to get it. He did not see it. Over his head. Johnson misjudged it. Runners end up second and third. That ball was hit right at him. He didn't see it, Dan.
Yeah, I do not think these outfielders are picking up the ball off the bat very well at all here tonight. This field just comes across as dark, and not trying to make excuses for anybody, but it's a dark playing field. And
we just saw the replay. He did not see the ball. I mean,
they're just not picking it up.
If you look at the fielder's reaction, you typically have an idea as an announcer what's happening with the ball. The reaction was, oh, it's coming right at me. That ball was, as it turned out, well over his head. And now Curtis with a chance to really open this game up. Second and third, only one out in the cleanup hitter. Austin McCready at the plate. McCready struck out looking to end the first. And Denny's will work from the windup. I guess that's where he's most comfortable. Now he will not. They changed it. He was going to. Now they say no.
It's like Nick Monica's going to play corners in here. So,
and I think against Dax Ford, that's probably the right move.
Absolutely.
Pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Nice block by Barwa. 1-0.
Look, if you can cut off a run, that's huge.
And there, Nick Monica to the mound. And again, not to fault the outfielders, but it's a couple of balls that might have been catchable that we've seen. And again, we're not here to criticize them. We're not here to make excuses, but it is dark out there. I mean, it's just not very well lit. Discussion at the mound.
Giving Denny's a break, too, just to let him catch his breath a little bit. Try to put something together. You really need him. Boy, if he could take somebody himself for you and get you to 2 outs, that would be pretty good if you're a Rummel fan.
Long conversation ends. Now we'll get ready for action. John Curtis will host Brother Martin starting a 2-game series Saturday here at Mike Miley at 2. Rummel will host Shaw 1 p.m. Saturday at Kirsch Rooney. A 1 o'clock game that'll be heard on WGSO 990 AM. 1-0 pitch, and he hit him. The bases are loaded with 1 out. So a long visit to the mound and a hit batter. I don't think that's what they talk about.
I don't think so.
So bases loaded, 1 out. Michael Curtis in a big spot to really give Curtis the advantage here. Curtis walked and scored the only Curtis run earlier.
Big spot here in this game. You know, if Curtis can get to 3 or 4 runs with Ford on the mound, it's going to be really tough on Rummel.
Pitch on the way. Threw it by him, 0-1, and Curtis went up hacking. I like that. He's trying to drive in runs.
That's what he's here to do right here. A hit is huge for John Curtis in this spot.
Oh, 1 pitch. Late, and it's 0-2. Denny's needs to strike out here.
Well, this is really a key spot because if Denny's can somehow get to 2 outs and allow his defense to back up, play their spots, the bases loaded, you got forces all over the infield, might be able to get out of this jam.
No balls and 2 strikes. Denny's from the stretch. To the plate, Curtis took a breaker, strike 3 call. Outside edge, quality pitch, got the call. It's a big out for out number 2 and strikeout number 6 for Denny's.
Huge pitch by Denny's, just what we just got done talking about. Now you got 2 outs, your defense can back up, your corner guys get to their regular depth, you got forces all over the infield, so see if maybe he can work out of this jam.
Got the call. Outer portion, seeing the replay. Can understand it going either way. Joel Taylor laid down a nice sac bunt that led to a run in the 2nd inning. And he took a good pitch for a strike here from Denny's. This is a big out in the game right here. And a big hitter in the game for John Curtis. Runners lead every base. Pitch to Taylor. Foul back, he was on the fastball. It's 0-2. So if you're Denny's and you saw that cut, you come back fastball, change location, or do you change speeds here?
Well, you're way ahead, so you got to trust your catcher can block things up for you and try to let the hitter get himself out here.
0-2 the count. Ford third, or rather Span third, O'Neill second, McCready first, and breaking ball, and he went around. He's out on strikes. Quality pitch, exactly what you said. Barwa blocks it, and the inning is over. Denny's gets high fives all over the place. Remember that. Pitched out of a bases-loaded jam with only 1 out. Struck out the side, no runs and 2 hits, no errors and 3 left. Curtis has left 5. We've played 3. It's still John Curtis 1 and Archbishop Rummel nothing at CrescentCitySports.com. Big sequence there as Jackson Denny's gets out of a bases-loaded jam. We go to the 4th. It's a 1-0 ball game. John Curtis remains on top. Crescent City Sports Prep Baseball is presented by Yale College Inn and Rock and Bowl. Rock and Bowl now with 2 locations on South Carrollton Avenue in New Orleans, Jefferson Street in downtown Lafayette. See a full schedule of entertainment at rockandbowl.com. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 5 left Curtis. No runs, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left for Rummel. Denny's leads off the 4th. That's appropriate. Took a ball high. It always works out that way, right? Or it seems like it does.
Yep. Make the big pitch and then grab the bat and get ready to go.
Then he struck out to end the 1st inning. Just late on the fastball here. 1-1. A little bit of a long swing there.
Yeah, he wasn't close on that one.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaker down and in, 2-1. If you see that as a pitcher, got to have confidence to throw that fastball, right?
Yeah, and Ford went to the breaking ball there. Probably going to come back with the fastball right here.
2 balls and a strike, and fastball, and he didn't get around on it. Little number towards
Nobody's
second.
Gonna get there,
second baseman will get him for the out. No, he's safe.
Safe.
Wow, want to see that one again. We have the benefit of a replay. Denny's, of course, a catcher and with a massive knee injury. Not a fast runner, but he hustled and gets a base knock. Here's the play again. I think he was. I mean, it was a looked like a tie go to the runner situation. Really close.
Ford acted like he thought the second baseman was going to make the play.
Yeah.
I think the second baseman kind of thought Ford was going to get to it. And after all that, Denny's able to leg out an infield single, and Rummel's got the leadoff man on here.
And Austin Bloom will run at first for Denny's. Get him back to the dugout. Now Chandler Fields up there. Likely bunt situation. Can they execute? Weren't able to do so earlier. Bloom, the runner at first. Fields struck out swinging in the second. It's 54 pitches now for Ford. Fields squares to bunt, and he went around, I believe, or did he? No, he didn't. He said he pulled the bat back. And now the umpire in the infield on the appeal says he did go, and it's 0-1. And you got to be a little bit more decisive on these calls, right? 0-1 the count. Bloom will lead. Not bunting now on a breaking ball strike. Well, again, one team gets a bunt down, they've got to run. The other team has had 2 opportunities and not gotten the bunt down. And again, as you said it earlier, in this type of game with these type of pitchers, it's critical. 0-2 the count on Fields. Way outside, 1-2. Rummel's hit into a double play and lost a runner to the field monster as well. They've had opportunities in this game. 1-2 the count. And another. Toward the hole. That's going to be a tough play. Fields is going to beat this. Base hit. Chandler Fields, too much speed. He's on. 2 on, no out for Tyler Cook, and another bunt situation for Rummel.
Yeah, I think you got to lay it down here. It gives you a chance to move runners to second and third, and base hit could put you up in the game that quick.
That'll prompt a visit to the mound. And talk it over. Jeff Curtis, the head coach of the Patriots, does an outstanding job, as does Nick Monica at Rummel. Curtis has coached the Patriots to 2 straight state championships. Monica's had Rummel in a state championship game and into the semifinals as well. By the way, Holy Cross blowing out Shaw 9-0, bottom of the 4th at Winterscheid Stadium tonight. So Holy Cross well on their way to being 2-0 in this league. Now can Cook get the bunt down? Top of the 3rd at Kirsch-Rooney. Jesuit 1, Brother Martin, nothing. Conversation complete. Here's Cook. Jesuit has just put up 4 runs. Jesuit leads 5-0 over Brother Martin in the bottom of the 3rd inning, trying to sweep that series. Here's Cook. 2 on, nobody out. Curtis looking for the bunt. Squares to bunt. And he pulled the bat back. Smart move by Cook. 1-0.
Ball is up in the zone. Good job by Cook. If you start that bat at the top of the zone, anything above it should be a ball. You should be only working down the pitches when you're bunting. So Cook doing a good job of pulling it back and taking it for ball 1.
This is inside and down. And again, he pulled it back, and it's 2-0. It's good discipline by Cook. Bunted toward 3rd, but foul. Right direction, but foul, and it's 2-1.
Cook kind of looking like he got the okay from Nick Monica to bunt for a hit there.
Yeah.
It looked more drag look like than a sacrifice bunt.
2 balls and a strike, 2 on and 1 out. Fast strike, and again, they cannot get the bunt down. And it's 2-2. That's 0 for 3. And how many times can you not succeed in that situation? Maybe he can get a knock now. And nobody out. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball laid off, down. 3-2. And a big pitch coming up here. Bertuzzi on deck. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, nobody out. Payoff pitch. Struck him out, high fastball. Again, Rummel unable to advance runners. 1 gone, and here's Logan Bertuzzi, who's walked. And you know they work on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
People say, oh, come on, man, can't you get a ball? They work on it, work on it, work on it. They just haven't executed. And as we've said throughout the course of this game, in a game with these kind of pitchers, you've got to maximize your opportunities to move runners. Curtis had the one chance to do what they did, and they scored. Pitch on the way. Threw the fastball by him. It changes everything. If you have that runner at third, this creates so many ways for you to score.
And it makes a pitcher think twice about throwing breaking pitches.
Exactly.
It does a lot for you.
No balls and a strike. Bertuzzi stepped out as Ford stepped off. Bloom second, Fields first. Ford pitching. Breaking ball, beautiful pitch, 0-2.
Backdoor breaking ball of these right-handers. Really nice pitch that Ford throws.
No balls and 2 strikes. Bertuzzi strikes out, 2 gone. 7th strikeout for Ford, and now he's an out away from getting out of a 2-on, nobody out jam. Fields bats, he struck out looking in the second.
This would be pretty tough for Rummel if they go first and second, nobody out, and not even really threatened.
Especially after last game. Threw it right by him when they would have had first and third with 1 out.
Ford has kind of taken the game into his own hands at this point, Ken. He's just rearing back and throwing it right by these guys.
No balls and a strike. Strike 2. So Colby Fields in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Ford trying to strike out the side here after the 2 infield hits. On 0-2. And he does just that. What pitching by Dax Ford. 8 strikeouts in the game. Strikes out the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Rummel's left 5. Bottom of the 4th coming. 1-0 John Curtis at CrescentCitySports.com. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning. John Curtis still up by the score of 1-0. Ken Trahan, Danny Green with you. And here in the 4th, Denny's will be facing Richard Woodruff, Reggie Bergeron, Colin Morgan. It was Woodruff that produced the run in the game. That liner to right that Fields could not spot, and it went for a double. Got by him, and it plated the run in the 2nd inning. So just the 3rd RBI of the year for Woodruff, but it was a big one. Bats here in the bottom of the 4th. And he hit him. Or did it hit the bat? No, I think it hit the bat. Umpire's calling him back, I do believe. That would be or is he saying it hit him after all? Now he's going to first. Oh, my goodness. The runner's at first. Jeff Curtis is furious, thinking the ball hit the batter. He's standing at first. They're saying, look at my wrist. And I don't know. It's hard to tell watching that replay where it got him. If it got the wrist or got the knob. Hard to tell. He's showing the umpire the mark. And now he's going to first. That's crazy. And now Nick Monica's going to come out, and he should. Jeff Curtis was right. And now he's calling him back. This is ridiculous. I mean, come on. Make the call
About as indecisive
and play
as
the game.
Ball and strike calls tonight.
Both coaches are right here, Danny. You coach the game. You just want somebody to be decisive and make a call. As a coach, you go lobby for your cause, as you should. Now you're going to go talk to the infield umpire like he has a good view of that?
You absolutely, as an umpire, cannot let a player show you a mark after the fact.
No, that you can't do that.
Change the call.
I mean, and you're going to go get the guy who's 90-some-odd feet away. Hey, did you see it? No, maybe you're right there.
Right.
You know, that's your
it
call.
It has to be, if the home plate umpire called it a foul ball, it's got to be a foul ball.
It's a foul ball, and whether it's the correct call or not.
Right.
Jeff Curtis is right to protest this, and Nick Monica was right to respond in kind. This is going to slow the game down significantly. The count is 0-1. I don't think the call's going to change again. Then again, who knows? Now he goes to work on the base umpire. And I think what the base umpire says, look, I have to defer to him. He's got the better view in that situation. Of course he does. He's on the play, and you're like 95 feet to 100 feet away. Then he's taking some loose warm-up tosses with his catcher to stay loose in the midst of all this delay. For a 1-0 game, this is moving not crisply, right? 0-1 the count. Ready to go after all of that. Woodruff doesn't get the heat. 0-2. Good game going on tonight at Covington, where North Shore and St. Paul's are tied at 4 in the 5th. North Shore beat them 3-2 2 nights ago. Two good teams. It's at Heap Field. No balls and 2 strikes. Woodruff calls time right when Denny's is delivering, and he follows through. It's the second time Curtis has been granted time at the very last instant. And that doesn't sit well with opposing pitchers or opposing teams, but that's the umpire's jurisdiction. Got the call just in time. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Down and out, 1-2. I'm not a fan of the late time being granted, personally.
No, not if it's right as the guy's about to throw the baseball. I mean, that's really not a timeout that you should get.
Struck him out looking. Well, Denny's has 8 strikeouts. So does Ford. That's kind of what we expected.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we thought that's what we would see, and both guys had multiple pitches working early on, so we knew that this would probably be a game like this, and you're on the edge of your seat offensively whenever somebody gets a runner on, because you know how important it is. And you know, that one run that Curtis has on the board right now, shoot, that might hold true.
It looks big. Here's Reggie Bergeron, and that's a fast strike. No balls and a strike to Bergeron, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning.
You know, these 7-inning games at the high school level fly by. It's quick.
Breaker down and in, 1-1. Denny's was at 58 pitches entering this inning, so he needs a pretty quick inning. Ford's at 70 through 4 innings. Outside, just missed, 2-1. Good take by Bergeron. 2 balls and a strike. Threw it by him, 2-2.
Good
ball gets there pretty quick, doesn't it?
Good fastball right on the outer third.
2-2 on Bergeron. Able to get a piece to stay alive. They can throw another pitch, 2-2 the count. Morgan on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And another. Over but high, full 3-2. Crescent City Sports Prep Baseball is brought to you by Riverlands Insurance in Luling. Meeting all your insurance needs, call Riverlands, 1-800-336-4579, or go to Rivens.com. Way outside, ball 4. So he walks the 8-hole hitter who hasn't had a hit this year. You just can't afford to do that. And now speed aboard with 1 out. He had him 1-2. You've got to finish the hitter. Didn't do it. And here's Morgan. Struck out looking in the second, and now you got speed aboard.
Well, situations like this are magnified in a game with, the arms on the mound that we have.
They're going to run for him here. It's going to be number 10, and that's Dudenhofer, who's going to run it first. Joshua Dudenhofer. Dudenhofer runs with 1 out, and here's Morgan. Another thing the walk does is it probably allows Curtis to turn the lineup over.
Yep.
Denny's has walked 3, and he's hit a batter. So not the greatest of command in this one. Not terrible, but not as he's been much of the year thus far. And, of course, that mounts the pitches, too, in the process, which is the big number to look at down the road. Outside corner call there, 0-1. Frame job by Barwa, got the call. Sold it, didn't he?
Yeah, did a nice job of receiving it there to get that strike call. And it's a 9-hole hitter, so you need Denny's to get him, because if he would reach you, you're really going to have your hands full.
Morgan back in, right side. Dudenhofer away from first. Pretty good lead. Down a ball, and it gets by Barwa. That's a wild pitch, and now a big run at second base with only 1 out. A walk and a wild pitch will do it.
That's how quick it changes.
And it's 1-1.
Got to stay away from those free passes.
Well, it was the leadoff walk that led to the John Curtis run in the second. Ford, conversely, has walked just 2 in the game. 1-1. Changed speeds on him, and he fouled it back. Had a good cut. Looked like a changeup. He took something off, and it looked like Morgan was on that pitch. 1-2. Which leads me to believe he'll come back hard here.
Well, he needs to put him away, get himself to 2 outs.
1-2 the count. Only 2 of the outs recorded by Rummel have been put in play. Everything else has been strikeouts. And there's another one. He went around. Foul tip anyway. Out on strikes. So, second out of the inning, Guggenheim will bat. Strikeout number 9 for Jackson Denny's. Guggenheim has batted twice, worked the count full to 3-2 twice, and struck out swinging twice. But he's a dangerous man with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
Well, that's what Denny's had to do right there. Get Rummel to 2 outs right here. Now you just got to try to get through this tough situation with Guggenheim. But the good thing is you do have a base open to where if he would get way ahead in the count, you don't have to give him anything.
Yeah, but then Dax Ford's on deck. 2 best hitters for Curtis in a row here. Pitch on the way. Popped him up, foul out of play. 0-1. Yeah, he's got to go after Guggenheim here with Ford on deck. Curtis has their 2 best hitters at the top of the order, both average-wise and really ability-wise. 0-1 the count. Jackson with the sign is stretching. Hard hit, third, and that's a 2-0 game. Curtis on top. Guggenheim rounds first, on his way to second with speed. He'll be there sliding with a double, and the Patriots take a 2-0 lead.
There's the walk, allowing them, as you mentioned, to get to the top of the order. Guggenheimer does the job right there. Veteran player at the plate in a key spot. Just rifles that ball down the third baseline for an easy double. And that's a big run that Curtis just put on the board.
Well, Walker dove for it, did everything he could to try to stop it, but ball was hit too hard. And now Dax Ford can really add insurance here, and he's singled sharply in the third. He's grounded to first. Again, both runs have been off of walks by Denny's, and that's the difference. And that's what good teams do to you. They take advantage, and Curtis is that. Now with a 2-0 lead. Curtis has 4 hits and 3 of them are doubles. That's huge. And they're just going to walk forward.
Yep.
That's the right move to make if you're Nick Monica. Even though Logan O'Neill's a good hitter and he doubled his last time, Ford's that guy. He's really good. And now Curtis will run. Caleb Span at first for Ford once again. Get the pitcher back in the dugout. Here's Span. So the intentional pass means 4 walks for Denny's and a hit batsman. So one thing he could not afford here tonight, the free base runners. Here's O'Neill with 11 RBI. And again, a chance to open this game up. Strike call, 0-1. Breaking ball sits high, 1-1. A 1-out walk to Reggie Bergeron. A 2-out RBI double by Colin Guggenheim. And the Patriots now have a 2-0 lead here in the 4th. Breaking ball and strike it, so 1 ball and 2 strikes. The stuff is really good. He's got 2 good pitches, no doubt. Curtis has maximized 2 opportunities. They had 3. They had the bases loaded 1 other inning, could not score. 1-2 pitch. Down and out, 2-2. Both teams have done a pretty good job against the opposing pitchers. The difference is Rummel just hasn't executed when they've had runners on base. Curtis has in 2 situations.
Curtis has gotten it done so far in this game.
2 balls and 2 strikes, and O'Neill steps away. It's a big pitch here. Denny's does not want to go full with 2 outs and 2 on.
Yeah, you still got the back half of the game to go, but thus far, Curtis has been the team that has executed.
There goes the runner from second, popped up right side. Do they see it? We've seen this before. Who wants it? Nobody. Second baseman Franklin stumbling, got it, inning over. Wow. A run home in the inning on a hit. And 2 men stranded. Curtis has now left 7 in the game. We've played 4, John Curtis 2, and Archbishop Rummel nothing here on CrescentCitySports.com. On to the 5th inning we go, and John Curtis has increased its lead to 2-0 over Rummel. Ken Trahan, Danny Ream with you. And here in the 5th inning, Rummel will have Stephen Powers. Then the top of the order, Lance Johnson and Kyle Walker against Dax Ford. He's thrown 70 pitches in 4 innings. He's walked 2, struck out 8. Powers grounded to second his first time. Hit the ball off the middle, and the second baseman went in and played perfectly, and that's where Bergeron is again.
Yeah, Powers in that last at-bat did a good job with 2 strikes, and Curtis had him played perfectly.
Powers takes a strike. It's 0-1. And it's now 1-1.
Well, Rummel needs a leadoff man on in the worst way here, so they need Powers to really give him an at-bat right here and try to find his way on base.
Fastball away, 2-1. Shade him the other way, infield and outfield as mentioned. 2-1. Towards second and slowly. Bergeron. Threw him out, 1 gone. Second time Powers has grounded to Bergeron. Now Lance Johnson, who's 2 for 2, will bet.
And that was really, Ken, one of the key spots in this game so far looking back at it was when Johnson slipped coming around second, because Rummel was going to be in a pretty good spot right there.
Brian Broussard's hit 2 home runs for Holy Cross tonight against Archbishop Shaw. The second, a 3-run shot. Down a ball, 1-0.
Well, Holy Cross played a really tough non-district schedule.
Much like Curtis.
Yep.
So the records really don't tell the story.
These teams were prepared for district play, obviously.
That pitch did hit him, and now he's saying come back again. So I guess it didn't hit him. Lance Johnson say the ball hit me in the leg. So here we go again.
This poor guy behind the plate.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Johnson just runs back to the plate, takes the bat. So maybe it didn't hit him, as we saw it again, and I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Well, you're just not getting definitive calls.
Yeah. I don't think it did hit him. Watching the replay, I think he got it right. That's a fast strike. Should be 2-1, correct? Second pitch, yeah, it's 2 balls and a strike. Threw the fastball by him, it's 2-2. He gets that fastball up, they're not going to hit it.
No.
Got to make him come down in the zone.
Up in the zone. It's not even a pitch that's hittable right now for this Rummel lineup. They're just swinging through every one of them.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Johnson. Oh, what a pitch. Backdoor breaking ball. Struck him out looking. 9th strikeout for Ford, and that's as good as it gets. Rummel's been unable to score on Ford now since he's been at Curtis, and they haven't scored on him here today either. Here's Kyle Walker, who's singled and lined into a double play. He's hit the ball hard twice. High and away.
I think there's a lot to be said about playing these extremely tough non-district schedules now, because in Division I, everybody's in the playoffs.
Right.
So why not get yourself battle tested and prepared?
You call that pitch a strike? Well, I'm assuming he did, but I don't know that. He's not giving us the count. We think it's 2-1. And now it is 3-1. So he did call that pitch a strike for whatever it's worth. 3-1 the count. And quickly Guggenheim to the mound. Just a little quick encouragement here.
Settle him down. Take a deep breath, Dax. Let's get back in the zone. When you're in the zone, these guys are having a lot of trouble with your stuff.
3-1 is high. Walker's on. Oh, Walker's really having good at bats tonight. He's a good-looking player. He's on. Franklin bats. Walked. Struck out in the third, though. He took 3 strikes with 2 on in that situation. Well, 1 on, actually, in scoring position. That was after Johnson had fallen down on the bases, unfortunately for Rummel. And he took another strike, 0-1.
Well, they're staying away on him, so obviously that's their philosophy of how they're going to approach his at-bats.
And he's not offering.
Right, he's not swinging at it, so he needs to be ready to go the other way. Look for something out over the plate. There it is again.
And they throw it by him away, 0-2. And Rummel has not been able to run on Ford at all, just as I surmised early in the game. 0-2 the count. That's outside, 1-2, staying away, as you mentioned.
Franklin needs to be thinking right center field gap here against Ford.
1-2 the count. And he threw it by him. Struck him out. Inning is over. 10 strikeouts for Ford, who marches on sharply. Rummel strands a runner. They have left 6. Take a stretch from Mike Miley, where John Curtis leads Archbishop Rummel 2-0. Here at CrescentCitySports.com. Bottom of the 5th inning, John Curtis 2 and Archbishop Rummel nothing. And here in the bottom of the 5th, Austin McCready will start it. Michael Curtis, Joel Taylor to follow. John Curtis softball team beat Mount Carmel 12-10 today. Defending state champs. Austin McCready starts it in the bottom of the 5th. McCready is struck out, been hit by a pitch. Jesuit pummeling Brother Martin 10-0 in the top of the 4th inning. What an impressive start for the Blue Jays against a team that many people thought would figure was the favorite in this league. Down a ball 1-0 to McCready. So there's a reasonable to good chance that you're going to have 3 sweeps to start the season in this league. The only one seems to be in any degree of doubt is this one, although Curtis with Dax Ford pitching the way he's pitching looks awfully good. 1-0 to McCready. That's a strike call. We have to wait for it, but there it is, 1-1. And another. Breaking ball hit to center. That's a base hit. Center fielder has to chase it, won't get it. By him, more extra bases for Curtis. Their 4th extra base hit of the game. Big turn at second, but a high throwback. Franklin's throw is high, and if it's down, they've got a chance. But a double by McCready. The 4th double of the game for John Curtis, and now another big insurance run is out there. Again, if you think this is a team that's a losing team, think again. There is no way.
No, this is a very impressive start by John Curtis here in Catholic League play. We'll see what Jeff Curtis decides to do right here. If he'll try to bunt the runner over, and you got to believe that 3 runs is plenty with the way Ford's throwing. So that's a really big run. You know, they're all big in a game like this, but that's huge. That might be the one that kind of puts it away. So we'll see if he lays a bunt down or if he lets Michael Curtis go after him here.
Shows bunt, he bunts it. And Denny's bobbled, has to go to first, and he is out at first. Maintaining contact with the bag is Bertuzzi for the out. 1 gone. Called him out at first. The runner is still standing there. Jeff Curtis wants the base umpire to check it. He said he was out. Said the back heel touched the bag. But again, another great job of executing by John Curtis. That's the difference in this game. One team's been able to execute, the other is not.
They've put the pressure on Rummel. They've gotten the bunts down. They've advanced runners. They've gotten some clutch hits. And that's the difference in the game. Getting an outstanding pitching performance from Dax Ford on the mound. Now with this runner over at third, Rummel's going to be forced to bring the infield in because you absolutely cannot give up any more. So that really opens things up for your offense, where you could get fisted and bloop one over the infielders' heads. You could hit a ground ball just hard enough that because they're pulled in, they can't get to it. A lot of things can go the offense's way when that infield's pulled in as they are now.
Nick Monica to the mound. Calls the infield in. And they talk it over. Runner at third with only 1 out. Big situation for Joel Taylor, who's sacrificed and struck out. Just so impressed with the way Curtis has executed. In the game Tuesday, 3 bunt situations, all perfect. In this game again, 2 bunt situations done perfectly.
And, you've really got to tip your cap to Jeff Curtis and his staff. The last few years they've had the lineup that could hit the doubles and home runs and win the game that way. And this was a younger team, younger players that had to kind of shape themselves into the club that they obviously are now here at the start of district play and play the game a little differently and lay bunts down and play more of a small ball approach. And they've obviously bought into it. They've practiced it. They're executing here tonight in a big setting against Rummel in a key district game. So you got to tip your cap to the Curtis coaching staff for understanding the players that they have right now and getting the most out of them.
Infield in.
Playing the game the way they need to play to win with this team.
Then he steps off. Throw over to third. Ball got away from the bullpen area of Curtis. They got a little action down there. So here's Taylor's driven in 7. Big run at third. And really put the touch on him. Ball down. 1 ball and no strikes. Taylor open stance. Pitch from Denny's. Threw it by him, 1-1. Hey, Denny's has not pitched badly. Not been as sharp as he has been this year, but he's clearly got good stuff. 1-1. And there's the bunt with the player from third starting home, but going back. Good play by Denny's. Denny's stayed cool, made the play, didn't panic, got the out. 2 gone.
Safety squeeze there, and that gave the runner the option to retreat. Once the bunt went right back to the mound, he would have been dead out at the plate, so he retreated back to third.
That's the first bunt they haven't executed well. That was ready-made for Denny's. Here's Woodruff, who has a big RBI double. He's 1 for 2. Big 2-out chance here.
But like he was pretty aggressive getting down the line. I think he was thinking about possibly trying to score on the throw over the first, but Denny's did a really nice job of looking him back and letting him know, hey, you better get back, and still being able to get that out over at first.
Pitch from Denny's. Threw the fastball by him. Same thing with Denny's as with Ford. If the fastball's above the strike zone or on the top half of the strike zone, you're going to have a hard time catching up to that. 0-1 the count. Nice pitch from Denny's to make it 0-2. Denny's trying to keep this a 2-run game. Get his offense back to work. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, the 2-run game is the way Rummel really needs it to be, because all you got to do is get one guy on. You got the tying run at the plate.
Down to third base side foul.
You get to where it would be 3-0. It gets a lot tougher against an arm like Ford, but you keep it at 2. You just got to sneak one guy on the base paths. You know, walk, a hit by a pitch, an error or something gets a guy on, and you know, you're playing here at Miley, 3-12 down the lines.
No balls, 2 strikes. Woodruff. There's the 3rd time in this game that a hitter has been granted time just as Denny's is delivering. And this isn't a knock on Curtis at all, but that's on the umpire. I just think you do not grant time that late. And there's a ball back to the screen, right back to the catcher. And there's no doubt that is a reflection of a pitcher being a little bit perturbed about the time being called when you throw a pitch like that, right?
Yep. Yeah, this late time call that these guys have been getting tonight I just don't
think it's well umpired at all. I just think you've got them. You do it one time where you call it a pitch and they won't do it again. 1-2 the count, and here we go again. Make it 4 times. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, and it's not on the hitter; it's on the umpire. You know, you just can't. And you can hear the fans' reaction as well.
Right.
I mean, if you're Rummel, you ought to do the same thing, right? You struck him out anyway. Strikeout number 10 for Denny's. No runs and a hit, a runner stranded. That's 8 left for John Curtis. We've played 5. Still 2-0 Patriots here at CrescentCitySports.com. On to the 6th, getting late for Rummel. They trail John Curtis 2-0. Ken Trey and Danny Ream with you, and Denny's will lead it off. Denny's an infield hit, and he struck out. Dax Ford at 88 pitches. He's walked 3, struck out 10. Down and in, 1-0. Remember the 115 pitch limit. High school baseball now. Fast strike, it's 1-1. Conversely, Denny's is at 92 pitches, so both kind of in the same zone in that regard. 1-1 to short. Bobble but handle, plenty of time, 1 out. Nice play by Taylor.
Ball was hit hard. Nice play.
Ford 5 outs away from beating Rummel again. Here is Chandler Fields, who has singled and struck out. Fields' hit was to deep short back in the 4th inning. Ball was hit hard. Sing it again, and Taylor stayed with it nicely. Fastball strike call to Chandler Fields. Breaking ball. Wow. Just missed, I guess, up 1-1. Pretty good looking pitch. Ball on a strike. And another. He's down, so it's 2-1. Ford continuing to work amazingly fast, hasn't he? All night long. There it is, 2-1. Fields was stepping out, and he doesn't get the call. And they don't get the call. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason for that. 2-2 the count, and now he brings it thickly again, and he swings and fouls it. And if you're Chandler Fields, you ought to step out earlier because he's just catching the ball and pitching it. And he's entitled to do that. But it is amazing that you don't get the opportunity to step out when you've granted it all night long. All you want is consistency, right? Struck him out swinging. What a job Ford has done. 2 outs. He's fanned 11 now, and he's 4 outs away from nailing this one down. Here's Tyler Cook, who's batted twice and fanned twice.
A Rummel player just got ejected.
Not sure who.
The last hitter.
Well, that would be Chandler Fields.
Chandler Fields.
Well, that doesn't help the team, but I understand the frustration when you've allowed it all night long, right? There goes Guggenheim to the mound. Cook getting encouragement from Bertucci. 1-0 the count. Ford delivers. Fast strike, 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. And he's been able to climb the ladder on Cook tonight in his at-bats and handle him. Cook's usually pretty good at putting the ball in play, but not tonight against this pitcher. Not many have been. Struck him out again. So 12 strikeouts for Ford, who's dazzled again. Nothing across for Rummel. Bottom of the 6th coming. 2-0 John Curtis on top here at CrescentCitySports.com. Bottom of the 6th inning, John Curtis Christian on top 2-0 over Archbishop Rummel. Jackson Denny's back to the mound. He's thrown 92 pitches, so keep an eye on that. He's walked 4, hit a batter, struck out 10. And despite the fact that he's pitched well, he's down 2, and Rummel's down to their final 3 outs, and Denny's has to get Curtis in the dugout without any damage here if Rummel's going to have any chance whatsoever. By the way, if you're looking at, Rummel has the bottom 3 in its order due up in the 7th. Here's Reggie Bergeron, who had a big walk in the 4th because that led to a run. Both Curtis runs were started by walks. Bergeron 0 for 1 with that walk. Fastball fouled back, 0-1. Hot one, and there's that delayed strike call. 0-2. And froze him, and he doesn't make a call. Just off the plate away, it appeared, 1-2. But a little bit of a flinch there, right? Just saying. 1-2 the count. That's high and a little bit away. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. And he got
yes,
him.
he did.
So that's on number 1.
He's got to make that one.
Thank you. Struck out number 11 for Denny's. Well, you got 11 strikeouts and counting, and you've only given up 5 hits, and you're on your way to your first loss. 1 out.
Yeah, that's tough luck there for Denny's.
Colin Morgan will pitch. He's batted twice, fanned twice. It's not going to be Morgan. We're going to get a pinch hitter for John Curtis. It's going to be Mary Phillips who's going to hit. So Phillips gets the at-bat. Takes it for a strike. Phillips on the year, 083. No homers, 1 RBI, 1 for 12. High, 1-1. Guggenheim on deck. Pretty good looking pitch, called a ball, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Denny's very deep into this game, 100 pitch mark or so, and still looks really good.
Phillips out in front of that, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got the bat head started early there. 2-2 the count. Go to the 5th inning. Holy Cross 9-0 over Archbishop Shaw. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball froze him, struck him out. Quality pitch. 2 gone. Strikeout number 12 for Denny's. Well, he's the real deal. He's a good pitcher.
Yep. This far into the game against a very quality opponent, still looking very sharp out there. And like you mentioned, this is a tough luck loss if it stays the way it is, because he's thrown definitely well enough to win here tonight.
Colin Guggenheim, a big RBI double, 1 for 3 in the game. Bats with 2 outs, nobody on. Trying to start a 2-out rally here. Pitch from Denny's. Breaking ball way high, 1-0. Delgado swept the doubleheader, beat LSU Alexandria twice today. They go to 18-5 overall. There's the 1-0 pitch. Strike, there's that delayed call, 1-1. Get used to it. We just have to wait. 1-1 the count. Ball gets away. Denny's has had to do this all night, hasn't he? Just as he's about to deliver, this time it was a loose ball in the bullpen. Austin Grenier shutout on his 18th birthday for Ponchatoula tonight. Swing and a miss. 1-2 Grenier. Shutout Covington, 2-0. Complete game. A 4-0 win, pardon me, for Ponchatoula. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Denny's to Guggenheim. Gaston. How impressive is that? Blows him away.
He has all night.
13 strikeouts for Denny's. Inning is over with nothing. Last chance coming for Rummel. Trailing John Curtis 2-0 here at CrescentCitySports.com. On to the 7th we go. 2-0 John Curtis, and the Patriots have gone to the bullpen. Dante Duffichard will come on trying to save it for Dax Ford. And you say, why? Well, Dax Ford was on 101 pitches, Danny, and the rule's 115. And you can't finish a hitter if you reach 115. You got to come out. So no doubt that was the case. Plus, Jeff Curtis, keeping him where he is in that situation. Duffichard comes in. Talk about what we have on Duffichard for the year, Danny.
He's thrown 11 innings for John Curtis, a 1.90 ERA, 10 strikeouts in those 11 innings pitched, 8 walks, 2 hit batsmen. He's given up 3 earned runs, so we'll see if he can shut it down. But this is a big spot. We talked about it early, trying to get the starters' pitch count up as high as possible, as quickly as possible, make them work for those outs to try to get into the bullpen.
We'll send Danny down to talk to our coach and star of the game, strike called, Logan Bertucci, who's walked and struck out. Dax Ford would certainly be that guy. Shut out 6 innings, 12 strikeouts in the game. He also had a base hit and an intentional pass at the plate. 0-2 to Bertucci. Boy, you like this. Duffichard comes in throwing strikes. So we'll get them right at home plate here. 0-2 the count. On Bertucci. Here it comes. High fastball, 1-2. Duffichard. The junior. Right-hander ready with a 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, 1 out. That's 13 strikeouts for Curtis pitching. Same number that Rummel's had tonight. And here is Colby Fields, who was batted twice and struck out twice. Here's Fields. Here's the pitch. And that's a strike, 0-1. But Duffichard comes in throwing strikes. 0-1 the count. And another. It's high, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Down and out, 2-1. Two and 1 to Colby Fields. And another. It's high and away, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. It is a save situation. To short. Taylor, second out. Patriots an out away from shutting out Rummel. 2 gone. And the batter will be Stephen Powers. Good contact, but right at him. Last chance for Rummel here. Stephen Powers took a strike, 0-1. Powers is grounded to second twice. Last chance for Rummel here. Outside, 1-1. Duffichard in search of his second save on the year. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Bounced it, 2-1 to Powers. Two balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. Patriots are 1 strike away from a big win. Two and two the count. Here it comes to short. Should end it. Taylor across, and John Curtis has shut out Rummel by the score of 2-0 here this evening to sweep the 2-game series in impressive fashion behind great pitching from Dax Ford and Duffichard, who finishes it off with the save here tonight. Very impressive performance by Dax Ford. Very impressive performance by John Curtis here tonight as they get it done 2-0 over the Rummel Raiders and sweep the series, go to 8-8 on the season. Rummel drops to 13-6, and of course they are 0-2 in district play. Danny will get in position to talk to Jeff Curtis and Dax Ford, who is no doubt our star of the game here tonight with the performance he put on here this evening. And we'll get to them shortly. So a 2-0 victory for John Curtis over Archbishop Rummel here tonight. And again, just a well-pitched game on both sides. Jackson Denny's was really good in a losing cause. You certainly can't find any fault with him for the way he performed here tonight. He was really good, but Dax Ford was simply too good. As it turned out, he was really outstanding here tonight. So Jeff Curtis will get his star of the game to Danny momentarily, and we'll head down there to hear some comments from the winners as they make their way toward home plate. And here they are. So Danny Ream getting set up to turn the microphone on. And let's go ahead and check in with Danny Ream with Jeff Curtis and Dax Ford. Danny, take it away. Turn the microphone on. He doesn't have the microphone on. Well, we can't hear him. He does not have it on. So unfortunately, we're not going to get that right now. So we see him, but he doesn't have it on. Unless you can tell him to turn the switch on, he's got to turn it on. But he can't hear us, so we can't get that communicated to him. So unfortunately, we're not going to get those comments. But good performance here tonight by John Curtis as they win it by the score of 2-0 over Archbishop Rummel. And again, they sweep the series to go to 8-8 and 2-0 in the league. And now 13-6 for Rummel and 0-2 in the league. And I wish we could get somebody to him, but we can't. So we're trying to get the microphone switch turned on here, and unfortunately, that's not happening. So, okay, he said it's on. All right, so we don't have. Go ahead. Try again. Try again. All right. Okay, well, not happening.
You and your the players that you had to figure out what were these guys going to do for us, and you guys are finding ways to win ball games against really good opponents with a whole new team, really.
Yeah, right. We talked about our season being in kind of phases: phase 1 pre-district, phase 2 district, phase 3 playoffs. So we moved a lot of guys around trying to figure out what's happening, who can play where, who's going to be able to hit in the lineup, who's going to compete. Against the pre-district schedule that we played against, we felt like that was going to give us a good shot going into district. And Tuesday, outstanding job pitching. Dax was Dax tonight. He settled in. He seems to be his best kind of when his back's against the wall. He had a few hiccups, and he did what Dax does, and he's a great Patriot for us.
I know you played a really tough non-district schedule. You feel like that had a lot to do with this 2-0 start?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew Jackson was a quality pitcher. He's got plus velo. He's got a good curveball. And this is no offense to him at all. We've seen guys like that this year. We've seen 3 or 4 guys. We've seen Corey Cook twice. Saw the kid from Zachary. Saw the kid from West Washita. Cole Crescent from Mandeville. So we've kind of seen that velo a little bit, and it didn't overwhelm us tonight. And that's what I was most proud of, is that we were able to grow from those early season pitchers that were given that plus velo.
One of the things that Ken and I talked about during the game is that you guys executed. When you had to get bunts down and move guys over, you were able to do it. And I really think that was the difference in the game. They struggled with that a little bit, but your guys were getting the bunts down. You were moving guys. You were getting the clutch hit.
Yeah, that absolutely. We've made an emphasis point over the last 3 or 4 weeks of making sure we get that done. Look, it's no secret. Last year I sat in a third base coaching box, and there was no signals. It was swing away. And this year we're able to try to manufacture some stuff, come up with some clutch hits behind some walks or some bunts or some movement some type of way. And I'm really proud of the way that we executed tonight.
All right, Ken. Well, the Curtis Patriots are right where they've always been in this league, it seems like, at the top. Back to you.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Danny, for a job well done. Sorry about the brief snafu there, but you heard from Jeff Curtis, and, of course, the John Curtis Patriots winning this one by the score of 2-0. Dax Ford, our star of the game, with a brilliant performance here tonight. 6 innings. He allowed 5 hits, no runs. He walked 3, and he struck out 12 in outstanding fashion here tonight. He had a wild pitch, but was brilliant throughout the course of this game as he improved to 3-2 on the season. And Jackson Denny's a tough luck loss, his first loss of the year. He drops to 5-1 despite going 6 innings, allowing just 5 hits, 2 runs, walked 4, and struck out 13 and a wild pitch and hit a batter on the night, but took the loss, his first loss of the season. The game took 1 hour and 53 minutes to play, and it was a John Curtis victory tonight by the score of 2-0 over Archbishop Rummel here at Mike Miley Stadium. Great job tonight by Chip Merritt and Matt Merritt, as always. I want to thank them for it. Also want to promote the fact that Saturday we got high school baseball on WGSO 990 AM. You can listen in as Archbishop Rummel tries to get on track against Archbishop Shaw. It's 1 o'clock at Kirsch Rooney Stadium with a pregame show at about 12:50 or so, following the 3 Tailgaters show on Saturday. So that's coming up this Saturday. That's Archbishop Rummel and Archbishop Shaw on WGSO 990 AM. We hope you'll have a chance to be there and part of it, because it should be another good game between 2 good teams that get after each other. And certainly a great rivalry that exists between those 2. Once again, our final score here tonight was John Curtis Christian 2 and Archbishop Rummel nothing. For Danny Ream, for Chip and Matt Merritt, I'm Ken Trahan saying thanks for joining us and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.